Welcome into PFF HQ. Austin Gayle here with Sam Monson. Ready to talk somewhat of breaking news. Trent Williams demanding a trade from the Washington Redskins because of reportedly they handle a medical issue poorly for him. He wants out of the nation's capital. Talk to me about what Trent Williams, now almost 31 years old, can bring to a team right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of this kind of stuff around the NFL right now, and typically it's angling for more money. It's a new contract deal somebody's looking for, and that's what everybody assumed it was with Trent Williams, but apparently not. Apparently it's a deeper-seated issue than that, and he does want out. So the first question you've got to ask yourself is, how good is Trent Williams right now? Because he's obviously been one of the best left tackles in football for the majority of his career, but he's trending in the wrong direction. Now, part of that is because of these injuries that he's been dealing with. He hasn't played a full season for a good long while now, but you're looking at his overall PFF grade has gone down each of the past couple of seasons from a 92.7 back in 2016, 82.6 in 2017, and then all the way down to 74.1 last year. So a guy that is trending in the wrong direction, and last year that came with 12 penalties as well, so a lot of negative plays in there. But I think you have to work on the basis that a healthy Trent Williams is still a top caliber talent, and we saw that at the start of last year. Some really good back-to-back games, and then injuries started to bite, and again that drop-off came.
Trending down, certainly, and I think at this point you can't really bank on him being a 1,000-snap-plus guy. I think he's going to get banged up here and there, but floor Trent Williams, even if he does miss 3 or 4 games, is a plus pass protector in the NFL. That has value. What teams do you think that could use a guy like him that could maybe push them to the next level, maybe push them in the postseason and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, outside of his rookie season, the lowest PFF pass blocking grade of his career was in year 3, and that was 77.9, which is still firmly in the good kind of category of pass blocking. There are a lot of teams in the NFL right now that would kill for that level of pass blocking, and that's basically as bad as it's going to get for Trent Williams, with the very best being up there amongst the elite grades, the very best grades we've ever seen. There's a couple of teams I think that are obvious candidates for him. The Cleveland Browns still have a truckload of salary cap space, and they've been aggressive this offseason in terms of making quick fix moves to try and build this team around their new starting quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and really contend right off the bat. Right now, their starting left tackle is Greg Robinson. So if you want an easy and obvious upgrade, I think that's a really simple move for the Browns to make. They obviously have some ammunition next year to be able to make that happen. I think that makes a ton of sense. A team like the Minnesota Vikings, I think, would love to have Trent Williams. They need to make a lot more happen in order to get him on board, because they don't have the cap space. So they would need to get rid of Riley Reif, their starting left tackle. They need to juggle some things around to try and create the space needed to get him. But I think they would desperately like to bring a player of that caliber on board.
Staying with the Browns, I think Trent Williams is, this offensive line is one of the only question marks left on the offense. Nick Chubb, OBJ, you see the highlights in OTA/mandatory minicamp. That offense looks very good. You're bringing in Trent Williams, even if he is banged up, even if he is declining, is a plus pass protector and probably the best offensive tackle if you bring him in. I want to bring up another team as well. I think the Houston Texans in this draft obviously brought in some young offensive tackles, but non-Power 5 guys that you think could be projects, need experience to grow. I'm not saying bring in Trent Williams to be a mentor, but he can be a stopgap starter for you to get these young guys up. What do you think?
Well, also at some point, one of these young guys needs to actually progress to the point where they're viable starting offensive linemen. They've drafted a bunch of these guys over the past couple of years, largely because they haven't been in a position at the top of the draft to really attack those positions of value, but they haven't worked. These guys have not come in and developed to the kind of caliber they need them to. They might need to try and go the veteran route, whether it's a trade, whether it's free agency in the future. Trent Williams might be a guy that they could bring in and just upgrade that spot and concentrate on the other 4 spots of the offensive line. At some point, that offensive line is going to need to take steps forward.
And Martinez ranking, Julian Davenport, cast into the fire, really forced to play a ton of snaps maybe when they weren't ready. And Max Sharping, a guy they drafted high in this draft too, you put him in out of Northern Illinois, he's going to take some time to develop as well. Similar to what we saw with the Oakland Raiders and Brandon Parker, first pick of the 3rd round, coming out of North Carolina A&T. He wasn't ready. He might get kicked in the guard this year. I think you don't want to see that happen with their young offensive tackles. Bring in a guy like Trent Williams to be the mentor. I think Houston Texans, Vikings, and Browns like you said, all make sense. Wherever he goes, he's definitely going to be that plus pass protector, even if he is in decline. I think as long as he can stay healthy, 12, 13 games, this is a good guy to trade for. To read more about Trent Williams and the current situation, go ahead and go to profootballfocus.com. We have an article up, and while you're there, subscribe to our Edge or Elite subscription to get all the advanced stats and grades we speak to. Thanks again.